Hello and welcome to Weekend Review on Trust Television. On Weekend Review, we take a look at some of the updates you missed during the week. My name is Martia Umar. Thank you so much for joining. And now, flood has been ravaging different parts of the country, and women farmers in Nasarawa State say they have lost crops and other agriculture produce estimated by over 200 million naira to flood this year across the 13 local government areas of the state. The women who decried the losses said the persistence of flood have negatively affected their socio-economic lives and expressed worry that the situation could throw their families into hunger if no intervention comes their way soon. Nigeria ranks 103 out of 121 countries facing hunger in 2022 Global Hunger Index. This figure revealed the gravity of Nigeria's hunger crisis exacerbated by its recent flood in the country. The national coordinator of the National Social Investment Program, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Umar Buba, said that in every disaster there's an opportunity.
In the short term, the challenge will be the farms are actually destroyed. Fresh supply of farm produce will be in short supply. We have to somehow utilize our reserves at this time to make sure that we calm the flow of food to people. But gradually, as the rains subside, you will start seeing very fertile and wetland appearing all over the place for farmers, particularly in the dry season farming sector, to take advantage of these very fertile pieces of land that is moist to now boost the production to cover for the losses. Most important thing is to ensure that we deploy what we know, we deploy the knowledge we have, we deploy the technologies that we can be able to have access. In countries where they have been able to manage this type of things, we must learn, and we must learn very, very quickly so that we can be able to protect our systems appropriately.
And on a sad note, starting the week, gunmen on Monday night killed the village head of Inyalon local government area of Wase, Plateau State, Salisu Idris. The bandit has also gunned down 2 other residents of the community. The spokesperson of Plateau State Police Command DSP Alabo Alfred, while confirming the incident, said 3 people were killed in the incident, adding that details of the incident was sketchy. The victims, according to residents, were killed in the village when the gunmen arrived the community on motorcycles and started shooting sporadically to scare people around. The resident told Daily Trust reporter that the attackers who invaded the village also abducted 5 members of the community, including 2 wives. Shapi Sambo, a youth leader in Wase, told Daily Trust that the government also made away with a good number of motorcycles belonging to the people of the community. Police in Zamfara State have arrested 11 suspects for various offences ranging from banditry, arms deal and political thuggery. The Public Relations Officer of the State Police Command, Superintendent Muhammad Shehu, who paraded the 11 suspects, said the police tactical operatives acted on intelligence information which led to the arrest of the suspects. Adam Silas reports.
The Public Relations Officer of the Zamfara State Police Command, Superintendent Muhammad Shehu, said that the police tactical operatives acted on credible intelligence, leading to the arrest of 4 terrorists who have been terrorizing innocent citizens along Saife Funtua Road. He said that the police operatives also apprehended a terrorist informant and a gunrunner who specializes in supplying arms and ammunition to the terrorists at Kucheri area of Zamfara State. Abubakar Buda, a 32-year-old who hails from Zuru local government area of Kebbi State, is the suspected gunrunner who has been using a Golf vehicle, dark color, to convey the firearms and ammunitions from Jos, Plateau State, to a terrorist leader named as Chumo at Kucheri community of Zamfara State.
The command, in an effort to control the situation and arrest the perpetrators, mobilized its tactical operatives, where 5 suspects in possession with locally fabricated guns, who also attempted to shoot at the police operatives were arrested in connection with the alleged crime.
The police further said that 5 suspected political thugs were arrested over alleged killing of 1 person and leaving 11 others with injuries last Saturday when APC and PDP political thugs clashed in Gusau metropolis.
Discuss that armed political thugs were shooting sporadically at innocent people, which resulted to the killing of 1 person and about 11 were injured and now at the Forest Specialist Hospital Gusau, where they are responding to treatment.
Items the police tactical operatives recovered from the suspects include 4 locally fabricated guns, 1 AK-47 rifle, 100 rounds of AK-47 live ammunition, 7 cartridges, a cutlass, 2 motorcycles, 4 handsets, 1 walkie-talkie radio, 140,000 naira and a bunch of charms.
And following the clash between traders and touts at Alaba International Market, Lagos, that left many injured on Tuesday last week, Traders Association at the market has called for intervention from local authorities to prevent recurrence of the violence triggered by extortion. A statement by Alaba International Amalgamated Traders Association Council of sectional head said activities of the touts caused pain and misery on the peaceful traders in Alaba International Market. The association said the traders are vacating the market in droves because complete blockage of the only Alaba road and extortion is becoming unbearable, as traders are made to pay between 70,000 naira and 100,000 naira for fully cleared container or a truck before they can be allowed to convey their goods to the market. The association appealed for intervention of Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu to other arrests and prosecution of criminals. The traders also want only a Volkswagen bus stop and a chemist bus to be designated as toll, calling for reduction in the outrageous fees collected from containers, trucks and other vehicle owners. You're watching Week in Review on Trust Television. More stories to come after this break. So stay with us.
That's great. It's good to see you.
You're welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. This is Week in Review on Trust Television. And moving on, the National Population Commission (NPC) says it will adopt a digitized process and optimize local content for the upcoming National Population and Housing Census, scheduled to hold in April 2023. To achieve these, the Commission is partnering the National Orientation Agency for a nationwide sensitization and advocacy campaign towards enlightening the public on the importance of participation from all. Trust TV's Aisha Saliu was there.
The sensitization campaign began with a roadshow, which was part of activities earmarked for the official flag-off of preparation leading to the conduct of the country's national census since the August 2006 head count. The exercise, which is intended to get accurate data on the growing population of Nigeria, will help the government plan better on how to distribute social amenities that would foster national development.
The importance of the national population census for purposes of planning, for purposes of legislative representation, for purposes of inclusivity, that will reflect the peculiarity of our national demography: men, women, old, young, spread per local government, per state, per geopolitical zones.
The National Orientation Agency says it will use social media, street walks, engagements at marketplaces, motor parks, religious and traditional institutions in driving local content provided by the NPC from urban centers to rural communities.
In this respect, our community mobilization officers will speak the languages of the communities where they are sited, where they are located, that are culturally and traditionally nuanced in such communities.
Due to the complexity of the process and to avert any challenge of unaccounted persons and houses, the NPC says it is taking the digital route to achieve a near-perfect exercise.
It's going to be fully digital. It is not going to be digital. It's going to be a green census with all the problems we've been facing worldwide about climate change and our environment. We're also putting in to our questionnaire questions relating to our environment, the conditions that our citizens live in. We capture into the questionnaire. So the response we have and the data we capture, we'll be able to use it for environmental assessment and mitigation. The census is conducted to count the people that are in the country. We capture Nigerians and non-Nigerians resident in Nigeria. Nigerians that are outside the country, when those countries conduct their census, they will be counted there. So globally, nobody is left out.
The national exercise, which is set to hold in April 2023, will put to rest speculations about the true population of the country. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And a coalition of activist groups under the aegis of End SARS United has reiterated its commitment to stand against any form of injustice on victims of the End SARS protests that rocked the country in 2020. The group made the call at a press briefing on Wednesday during the week in Lagos as part of activities marking the second anniversary of the End SARS protests that took place on the 20th of October 2020. Organizers urged the federal government to revisit the 5-for-5 demand of the End SARS protesters and implement the panel report. Several activities have been held in some parts of the country, with some planning a peaceful march at Lekki Tollgate to commemorate the day.
Youths, whichever way you have gone to, one good thing that I like about the current disposition is that at least the youths are now more political than before. We may be quarreling about which political way somebody has gone. I've seen Mr. Folari has gone to Young Progressive Party, and I promised publicly that yes, publicly that we will support him. The important thing that people should be political. People should be political before we are political. People say I just want to make it or I want to japa.
We found ourselves outside the hospital. There was no vehicle. We trekked about where they discharged about. Let me remember. They discharged about 7 to 6 of us. We could not walk. Some they scattered. The bullet teared their legs, so they could not walk. We trekked from Marina General Hospital down to the toll gate when the shooting is still going on for us to be safe. So after trekking there, so we now met some protesters. They now took us to somewhere, a church at Lekki Phase 1. So we were there for 1 week. From there, somebody came to help us. We've been in the safe house for like 3 to 2 months.
Panel recommendations to be met, and all the dead bodies, where are they? Where did they bury them? It was somewhere they buried them now. All the body, the panel report listed up to like 40 something names, and even the pathologists, Lagos State pathologists came to the panel and said there were 99 bodies in the mortuary. Where are the bodies? So there are so many questions that I need answered.
A Residents of Kaduna are urging the federal government to expedite action on the resumption of service on the Abuja-Kaduna train route. The residents make the call when Trust TV visited the Kaduna train station in Rigasa. They also urged the federal government to put proactive measures in place to prevent insecurity on the rail lines, as Bello Musa now reports.
The Kaduna-Abuja train services were the delight of many passengers, and it became a key cross-regional pathway ferrying both goods and people. Many Nigerians opted for train services due to insecurity on the highway. Although the highway was not abandoned by travelers, the alternative train services brought a measure of relief to those who journeyed through the route until March 28, when bandits attacked Kaduna-Abuja train and kidnapped 61 passengers. Since the attack, the Nigerian Railway Corporation suspended operations on the route. The Kaduna train station was a beehive of activities, but a visit to the train station looks deserted, with many business crippled. With the remaining hostages of train attack released, train passengers, business owners and taxi drivers at Rigasa train station are urging the federal government to reopen the train station. We believe it is from God, but we are in difficult situation, and we pray for the resumption of the train service. We cannot quantify the losses we incurred here due to suspension of train services. We have been living in a difficult situation. Rabi Aramayao used to travel by train. She narrates her ordeal due to the absence of train services.
So a lot of people are finding it difficult in terms of traveling, because it's not everyone that can afford to travel by air. And going by road is another difficult thing. One has to start thinking of what will happen on the road.
Dr. Awal Abdullahi, a security expert, says the 718 million naira surveillance contract by the federal government is a right step in the right direction.
Yes, it is a step in the right direction. I recall that the former Minister of Aviation, Rotimi Amechi, lamented seriously over this rail line surveillance contract that was supposed to have been on place for long, but due to some technicalities, which was not too necessary, it was not put in place, and then what happened. First and foremost, the world over, rail lines are safeguarded.
He also suggests measures that need to be taken to avert a recurrence of such attack.
I know that there's infrared cameras that is connected to the satellite. That is the easiest way to reach out and also sight a common object 200 meters, 300 meters away from it. Then you have the drones, which can be put on run, and with some at the substations of the train station, you can create a security coalition room where you have the cameras that will be monitoring either the drones or the infrared security circuit. But
as Nigerians await the resumption of the Kaduna-Abuja train service, many are hopeful that adequate security measures will be in place to guarantee the security of lives and property. From Kaduna, Bello Musa reporting for Trust TV.
The Chairman, Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution and Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Omo-Agege, has lamented that only 11 states have voted and complied with the constitutional amendment carried out earlier this year, while 25 states are yet to consider and vote. Omo-Agege stated this at a joint press conference on constitutional amendments and the latest developments at the National Assembly on Tuesday during the week.
The Deputy Senate President Ovie Omo-Agege accused some state governors of interfering in affairs of state assemblies, thereby turning state lawmakers towards themselves for their selfish gains, as a result of which meaningful contribution is yet to be made to the constitution review process.
If there are bills there that you're not comfortable with, vote it down. But to hold it hostage, you are holding the entire exercise hostage, you are holding the entire country hostage. And that's what were against, and we thought it is right that the Nigerian people, through the media, understand who is holding this hostage at this particular time.
On state policing, President of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, commended the Constitution Review Committee for transparency and fairness.
I can say that this process has been followed up to the letter from the public hearings in the 12 states to the public hearing here in this National Assembly chambers. And Nigerians freely canvass for position on all those issues. And I remembered the position of NLC about the state police was very clear. Check the history of thuggery in Nigeria and also insecurity. How do we actually empower political thugs to now become bandits and even become Boko Haram? Check the history very well. It started with political thuggery. And clearly, our position is we are not matured for that.
Senator Omo Agege, who is also the co-chairman, Joint Senate and House of Representatives committees on the review of the 1999 Constitution, noted that consultants had recommended over 66 bills from the public hearings and memos submitted by the public.
The House of Representatives has commenced an investigation into the regular collapse of the national grid with its attendant power outages across the country. The committee, which commenced the probe with a grilling of some power sector players over the continuous grid collapse in the country, said since the privatization of the power sector in 2013, Nigeria has witnessed over 100 national grid collapse. The report.
Minister of State for Power, Godi Agba, who appeared before the committee on Thursday, said Nigeria has not experienced national grid collapse but systems disruption.
Blackout is not a collapse, but blackouts can result from collapse as well as disruptions. But this one we have had this year, we've had 4 of them, but they have not been collapse, is disruption. And disruptions have been as a result of, there could be human factors, there could be equipment factors, there could be political factors, there could be other factors.
The Executive Secretary, Association of Power Generation Companies, Joy Ogaji, countered the minister's submission, saying that from 2016 to year 2022, Nigeria has experienced 136 national grid collapses. The Managing Director, Transmission Company of Nigeria, Sule Abdulaziz, also admitted there was a decline in power supply.
In all jurisdictions, the imperatives of the power transmission network cannot be overemphasized. Transmission network constitutes the vital channels of the entire power value chain, as the growth of the power sector is contingent to development of a robust and a non-collapsible, underline and in quotes, and a non-collapsible transmission grid or network.
TCN, we have a capacity of 8,100 megawatts. At the highest we transmitted was on 1st March last year, where we transmitted 5,801 megawatts.
Earlier, the chairman committee investigating the grid collapse, Magaji Aliyu, assured that the committee is not out to winch out the stakeholders, but to find a lasting solution to the problem. Declaring the investigations open, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who was represented by Ganiu Johnson, said the hearing is important to Nigerians. A stable power sector is essential for the growth and sustainability of a viable economy.
And for the emphasis, we are not here to find faults. We are here to find solutions. We understand the image of the problems, and we are here to give the required legal backing and assurances of funding to this sector.
A stable power sector is essential for the growth and sustainability of a flourishing national economy. Ensuring stability in the power sector and providing our country's energy needs is a responsibility this government and this House take seriously.
Nigerians are hopeful that the investigation will address issues around the grid collapse and boost power generation.
And now to judicial matters. The Supreme Court of Nigeria has declared Sharif Oborevwori as the Delta State governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 elections. The Apex Court made the pronouncement while delivering judgment in an appeal filed by PDP gubernatorial aspirant David Adebi, challenging the emergence of Oborevwori as PDP candidate. Take a look.
The lead judgment was prepared and read by Justice Tijani Abubakar, while Justice Amina Ogi presided over a 5-man panel of Supreme Court justices. Justice Abubakar held that the Court of Appeal was right to hold that the suit of Adebi was wrongly commenced by way of originating summon rather than by writ of summons.
The 5-man judging, so to say, all how do I put it, that all the grounds of appeal were dismissed completely and resolved in favor, of the respondent in its entirety. So invariably, Oborevwori was declared today as the winner. No more, no legs. It was a very short judgment given by the court, and that is the finality of determination.
After the judgment, supporters of Oborevwori, who started trooping into the court premises as early as 7 a.m. on Friday, could not hold back the excitement.
It seems the celebration is ending in no time soon as supporters of Francis Sharif Oborevwori are outside the Supreme Court premises still jubilating for this very judgment at the Supreme Court today. And that means that Oborevwori is now the candidate that will be flagging the PDP flag in the governorship election of Delta State.
Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And that brings us to the end of Week in Review. You can join us next week, same time, same station. For more updates, follow our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Martia Umar. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.